Tips and tricks for Google Classroom, the basics for teachers. Hi, and welcome to this video, which is going to be all about some tips and tricks that I think are especially important for everyday use of Google Classroom. Some of these tips will save your email from being full, and it will also help you to be a better communicator with parents about what you're posting on Google Classroom and what your assignments and expectations for those assignments are for your students. So let's go ahead and get started. So you'll notice here my classroom looks a little bit different than it has in my previous videos. I have added a second class, and I've also added another student to my sample classes. And the reason for that is because I needed a few more classes and a few more students to be able to share some of these tips and tricks with you. So the first tip I want to share is a way that you can customize your Google Classroom a little bit. So if you go right here on your header where it says select theme, you can select from a bunch of different themes that Google has pre-provided for you. And so I'm just going to select a random one for now. But again, you could pick any theme that you want. You can also upload photos, and there are other tutorials all over the internet about how to create custom banners for your Google Classroom, and it's super simple. I highly recommend that you check one of those out if that is something that you're interested in doing. So now that I've taught you how to change your theme and customize the look of Google Classroom, now I'm going to show you one of the most important things that every teacher using Google Classroom should do. And that is to turn off your notifications. So go up to these three lines up here. And then earlier in one of my previous videos, we talked about the settings that are in this gear shift right here. Well, now we're going to talk about the settings that are down here. They are actually different. So go ahead and click that. Here you can add a profile picture, but the most important thing you need to do is uncheck this box. You do not, I'm going to recheck it, you do not want email notifications sent to your mailbox for all of the things happening on Google Classroom. Your mailbox will be full very, very quickly in one assignment. You'll get an email every single time a student submits an assignment, and it's just too much. So I highly recommend that you turn off these email notifications in the settings that are on this bar over here. Now we're going to go back into our classroom, and I'm going to show you another tip, which is if you are collaborating with teammates to teach, the best way to do that, there are multiple options, and the first or the best way to do that is if you, for example, if you want to put all 90 kindergartners in one Google Classroom, but co-teach that Google Classroom with 3 teachers so that each teacher has 30 kindergartners, you can add additional teachers to your classroom by going to the People tab and then clicking right here where it says Invite Teachers. And this is a place where you can invite teachers, additional teachers, so that they can post assignments. And so that they can also grade things. However the team wants to work out how they run the classroom. So for example, you might have 3 kindergarten teachers. One wants to be in charge of the math assignments, one wants to be in charge of the reading assignments, and one wants to be in charge of the writing and the science assignments. So those teachers can then go to the classwork tab. They can create assignments, and when they're creating the assignment, they can choose which students they want that assignment to go to, and they can also choose which classes. So from one class, you can actually assign the same assignment to every class that you have. So that's just a tip I also wanted to share, that Google Classroom makes it very easy for teachers to collaborate and make it where you can all be in charge of one set of students in a Google Classroom, and you can work together to complete the tasks that you need to complete as the teacher. The next tip that I wanted to talk about was when it comes to this collaboration and using Google Classroom, one of the best things that you can do for yourself is use topics and figure out a way that works for you when it comes to organizing all of the assignments and all of the materials that you are going to be putting onto Google Classroom. I've heard people say that you should have a resources topic where you can put all of the resources that your students need under one topic. You can do your topics by week. You can do them by subject. You can do it however you want to do it. But I just highly recommend that you figure out a system that's going to work for you and be consistent when using that system. Now, another thing that kind of ties in with that is right here, you can go to your class drive folder. And this will open up all of the things that you have shared with your classroom on Google Classroom as an assignment, as an attachment. Now, I highly recommend that you keep your Google Classroom resources very, very organized. You keep everything in Google Drive that you're going to be using on Google Classroom to make it seamlessly to put things onto Google Classroom. Sorry, I keep saying that. And keep things organized. So keep all of your math things in math folders and create a reading folder and a writing folder, and just keep yourself very organized when it comes to your digital footprint in your Google Drive, and it will make teaching using Google Classroom that much easier. So those are my main tips and tricks. The last tip that I want to share is how you can actually invite your students' guardians to get daily or weekly email updates about what you have been posting on Google Classroom. So the easiest way to do that is to go to People. However, I am not on an education email address on my Google Classroom, so I don't have the option, but it will always say right here where my cursor is, Invite Guardian, and you can click on that. And when you click on that, it will bring up an email box just like this. You type in the guardian's email address, and then every week or daily, the guardian will set that based on their preference. It will email them a summary of what you have posted and what their student has completed for the day or for the week. And I highly recommend that you do get your students' parents' email addresses, and that you do take the time to invite each individual guardian to your Google Classroom. So those are all my tips and tricks for now. I'll be sure to add more videos as I learn more things, or as I remember, oh yes, I need to share that. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have questions, feel free to email me.